Super Rugby logo rankings. This is one that people have asked me to do, not in great numbers, but a few people have asked me about it for a while. And I've never really had a great drive to do it because, to be honest, I think all the Super Rugby logos are okay. I don't think there's any really terrible ones. But there's no rugby on. And it could be an interesting talking point. I'm sure, and what I hope to get out of this also is that you guys will also let me know some of the things that maybe go a bit deeper into the logos. And I'll have a look at some of the historical logos as well. So maybe some of those you guys, especially young guys, may not have seen. But yeah, it could be an interesting little look. I've put them in order. Yeah, from my least to my most favorite. I've tried to put a bit of reasoning in there. I do like ones where they've attempted to put a bit of a rugby theme. Here's some historical ones, by the way. Those are the old New Zealand ones. This is from 1999. You can see that for the most part, the New Zealand ones haven't changed a huge deal, although the Blues and the Crusaders have got totally new logos. The old logos for the other teams are essentially the same. They're just touched up a little bit. But yeah, I'll go through least to most favorite. As I said, I've tried to put a bit of reasoning there. I do appreciate the ones that have tried to theme rugby in there somehow. For the most part, it's putting some kind of rugby ball shape into the logo, but that's definitely not the only reason I'm picking anything at all. So it's just my thoughts, man. And as I said, I don't really dislike any of the logos. So, but yeah. Start with 15, and unfortunately I still have not updated this logo to the current one, but I'm going to put the Crusaders logo there at 15. They've designed their new logo, and it's probably the fact that I'm just getting old. I'm just going to turn that down a bit because the sun has come up. There we go. Yeah, I'm just getting old, and change grinds my gears. If this was a couple of seasons ago, I probably would have put the Huaraz logo here when they changed. Because, yeah, grumpy old man. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Don't go changing stuff. I don't like it, but give me a couple of years. I'll probably get used to it. I know they put a bit of thought into the meaning of the Crusaders logo. Some people dig it. It's a C. Just doesn't really do it for me yet. If I see a captain of the Crusaders holding up the trophy while wearing that jersey, that'll probably help sell me on the logo. But I am not there yet. If I had to choose, the old one would probably be up, I don't know, here. Like that one would probably be up here somewhere. Because it just commanded a lot of respect. There's so much history in terms of seeing captains raise trophies wearing that old logo. But the old logo is no more. But yep, they've got a new logo. Not a huge fan, but as I said, early days. Next, I go on with the Melbourne Rebels. It's a shield. It's got five stars? 5 stars. I think I have read something about the stars being a particular connection to something in Melbourne. What the connection is between the shield and the Rebels thing, don't know. I think the Rebels name itself was just because they were a bit different. Maybe because Victoria's more into its AFL. They're different from all the other teams. Either way, it's a shield. It's got stars on it. I'm assuming that's a shield. Correct me if I'm wrong. It could be a tornado for all I know. But yeah, the Rebels logo. It's alright. I don't have anything against it. Just not one of my favorites. Next. And this one, I think maybe it's just the font of the text that I've never really dug. And it was also interesting that for a long time, 3 of the 5 New Zealand teams had a dude as their kind of logo. The Chiefs, the Crusaders, and the Highlanders all had a guy, whereas none of the other Super Rugby teams had any like man, human. Yeah. So it's a Highlander. I get there's a Scottish connection with the Otago region. It's a dude. He's got a sword. It's got yellow text below him. It's all, I don't know. Text doesn't really do it for me. Maybe that's just what it is. How does it look for the old one? The old one used to just say Otago Highlanders under it in a probably preferable font compared to that one. But that is what it is. Again, I don't hate it. It's all right. Next, I've gone with the Huaraz new logo. It's grown on me. Like I said, a couple of seasons ago, is it a season ago when they first released it? It would have been down there. But it's slowly grown on me. It still kind of looks like a hand puppet to me, a little bit. Like, have you seen people who are bored in the quarantine and they're getting hand puppets that are like eating the cars? Like, that's kind of what that looks like to me. I still prefer the old Huaraz logo, which if I was, putting it on the board, the Huaraz one would probably be at least second row. But the new one is there. I still don't prefer it. Man, that sun is just going out from the clouds and then behind the clouds. But anyway, the Huaraz one there in 12th. Next, I've gone with the Sunnies, the Sunwolves one, and it might be just partially because they're not had that much success on the field. It's a logo that maybe it's alright. It's got the two colours. The fact that you can make a wolf's head out of kind of leaving half the logo blank is I guess pretty cool. They've got like a lightning bolt end thing going on with the Sunwolves. Yeah, I feel like that one's gonna date. Maybe it's already dated a little bit, but yeah, it's alright. I think maybe in terms of design, it probably does more than some of the other logos. But I'm not a designer, so on my gut feel, I've gone 11th for the Sunwolves. Next, Brumbies. Kind of like the Sunwolves one, I guess. There's not a lot of connection to rugby there. It's a horse in front of some mountains. I guess Canberra is mountainous. Excuse me for my lack of geographical knowledge there. The Brumbie is a horse. Makes sense that there's a Brumbie horse on the logo. It's better than their old one. I think I would say the Brumbies old one, probably bottom row. Brumbies new one, okay, maybe I'm used to it now. The Brumbies old one I think was yellow. Still had the horse with the mountains. This one just think it looks a little bit more updated, a little bit more slick. So it's one of those rare cases where I look at the old one and go, I still prefer the new one. Next, Hurricanes, and I guess credit to this one for at least being kind of a rugby ball shape. Nothing below this has any real, unless I'm missing something, rugby connection. Unless the Highlanders guy's holding a rugby ball instead of a shield. I don't think there's a lot of rugby connection, but the Hurricanes one does have it. The text has always been a bit meh to me. It kind of felt like a 12-year-old. Thought that'd be a cool text to have, but still, successful team. Their old logo looks pretty much the same. It hasn't changed a lot over the years. Maybe the colour of the Hurricane, but I get it. Wellington's a windy city. Hurricane, there's the connection. Cool, happy days. Happy with that. Reds. Reds, I'm going to go here. Reds have always had the koala. I think it actually used to be like a real koala. Now it's like an angry looking stylized koala. A koala's not really that kind of threatening an animal that I know of. Unless Aussies can tell me differently. They're pretty cute and lovely little animals, but they've made this one kind of threatening. So, yeah, more power to them. I guess it does look better than the old one, which was just a cute koala on a tree. So in terms of being a team logo, there's a bit of that. I think they have kind of tried to put a little rugby ball in there, which is why they've got the stylized R and like the shoulder of the koala. So I appreciate that. But yeah, mid-table for me. Next, and the Tars. We don't really do flowers as logos much here in the Southern Hemisphere. England have obviously got the flower, and Scotland have got the thistle. Wales got the leek, so it's not really such a thing down here in the Southern Hemisphere. They've gone with the Waratah flower. It's got a rugby ball in there, which is probably why this gets as high as it does. I don't think I noticed the rugby ball for years. I think it was a moment where I was like, oh, there's actually a rugby ball in there, which is a pretty cool thing. I know it's a symbol of New South Wales, so there's a connection there, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's a flower. It's got a rugby ball in there. 7th for me. Next, Blues. Again, it's clearly a rugby ball shape. That blob in the middle of the ball is Rangitoto, which is a volcanic. Well, it's a volcano. It's an island, which is a volcano. 500 years old, maybe 800. I'm not sure. But there's not really any people that live on there. It's out in the harbour here in Auckland. So if you go into the city, you'll definitely see that volcano. It pretty much looks the same from any angle you look at it. I've climbed it. It's not that much of a climb. There's not much to see there, but it's a volcanic island, so that's cool. It's a dormant volcano. So it's definitely a symbol of Auckland, but the blues does represent Northland and North Harbour as well. So whether they identify with North Harbour, who does. Rangitoto, not so sure. I still think it's an improvement of the old blues logo, which would probably be down here. The old blues one was very 90s. Funnily enough, it was designed in the 90s. So I think that one's an improvement. I can certainly live with that. Not that it's been as successful as the old one. Next, Chiefs. They always talk about Chiefs mana, which is like the, I guess, respect that they have. It's the Waikato roots, which is something I can feel, and I don't think it's dated that badly. That's a original logo. I still think it holds up. I still think the Chiefs logo is pretty slick. I guess I would feel the mana if I was a player wearing that logo. So it doesn't really have a rugby connection. It's, as I said, one of the other guys along with that one, which were the other, human kind of style logos. But man, I think the Chiefs one still looks pretty good after all these years. The old one I've got in the magazine there says the wording of the Chiefs used to be black, but the red and the yellow is traditionally Waikato colours. So yeah, that works for me. Next, Bulls. Bulls, I've gone with number 4. I think the South African team's done a pretty good job of their logos, to be honest. You've got a rugby ball on there with the nose of the bull. It's got the word bull with horns on it, man. It's about as... I don't know, man. It's like, if you're a logo designer, does that not tick all the boxes? It's got the team name in the word. It's got the symbol of the meaning of the word that it represents, and that it's a bull, and it's got a rugby ball on there. Tick, tick, tick. Plus, it's one of the... Well, it's the most successful South African franchise, so that adds a bit of respect there as well. Next, Stormers. It might seem like an odd pick, but I feel like that's a logo that's going to hold up for a long time. Interestingly, when you look at it on the jerseys, they often don't have the rugby ball shape. They just have the word with the lightning bolt, and the S. But I still think that works. They've changed it a bit. They had an old logo for 1 year, which was atrocious. That would have been down here. And they've kind of changed the colours a bit, like from black to kind of a dark blue over the time as well. But rugby ball, I don't think that's going to date too terribly compared to some of maybe the other logos. But yeah, pretty happy with the Stormers one. Next, and this one may be a bit of a controversial one. I don't think this one's changed over the years. And I guess, do you swim with sharks at Durban? I know Durban's a coastal city. Maybe that's the connection with the shark. But it's like, I think someone mentioned this to me once, maybe on Patreon, saying that it's a logo designed by like a 13-year-old boy who's like, how cool would it be to have a shark running with a rugby ball? I can still dig it. I can definitely still dig it. So it is literally a shark wearing rugby boots. So somehow he's got legs and he's got a rugby ball under his arm. He's fending. That's the logo. I think it still works, man. Maybe black and white just keeps it simple. It doesn't date as badly. The fact that it's like a cartoony style image, which is still, I think, holds up these days. Yeah, Sharks for me, number 2. Number 1. There is not really a rugby connection, but it's a bloody lion, man. That's just a cool animal. And I know lions, from all the documentaries you watch about lions, can be kind of... especially male lions, can be a bit not, well, in human terms, probably not good role models, but in the lion world, they do what they do. And it's a lion. It's got a mane. He's looking pretty mean. And the fact that the Lions became a good team in the last, kind of 5 years matches the logo. It's a lion. It doesn't have a rugby connection, but it's a lion. It looks pretty badass. So, yeah. that's the rugby rankings for mine, for logos. If I was to add some of the old logos in, like I mentioned, Stormers' old logo was pretty bad. Blues' old logo was pretty bad. Red's old logo was not the best. The Cats, who are now a defunct team, they would probably be bottom row because it was just a cat. A cat is no way near as cool as a lion. That is just a thing. Even though I used to support the Cats as kind of my other South African team along with the Sharks. The Brumbies' old logo would kind of be down here too. The Force, I guess, would be mid-table with that stylized swan. It had the rugby shape, which was cool. The Cheetahs, I guess, would be mid-table-ish, even though they're in Pro 14 now. Likewise, the Kings would be probably slightly higher. With the Spears, cool logo. Huaraz, old logo, probably upper mid. And like I said, Crusaders, maybe third. I don't know. But yeah, there may even be other old logos. I think the Bulls might have had a different logo for 1 year when they were like the Northern Bulls. But the competition does date back quite some time. So yeah, that's the logos. They don't change like the jerseys do every year. So maybe that's why I'm not really against any of the logos because they don't change. They pretty much remain constant. But yeah, I'm hoping you guys can let me know some more information. Like I said, I know Rangitoto because I live in Auckland. I know Dunedin's got a kind of Scottish connection, likewise an English connection with the Canterbury region. But yeah, Waratah is New South Wales. So that kind of stuff I know, but I'm sure maybe you guys can also educate me and the others in the comments below with some more information as well. But yeah, that's the rankings. You guys let me know your thoughts. Drop us a like, even if I didn't like your team's logo the most. But yeah, I'll talk to you again soon, guys. Take it easy.